All right, we are live. What is happening, guys? I actually, if you're wondering why I'm wearing glasses, is because it's pretty late over here. It's about 9:30 ish. Just got done recording a few kick-ass investing videos. I'm actually having a lot of great success with a lot of the students right now. I actually opened up a like took on some beta students and just walking them through, and it's really crazy, man. Like a lot of them are getting results, and not everything. There's a small few tweaks I gotta make, but for the most part, people have been kicking ass at it. So really happy to be moving forward with the Kick Ass Investing 2.0 series as well. So super happy about that. Also this week, I have a major video coming out that is fully edited. It's my Don't Do Pharmacy Part 2, and literally I spent a long time kind of researching everything as well. So if you guys are in the pharmacy niche, and it's not just like a pharmacy video on bashing pharmacy or anything like that, I do give some alternative healthcare careers and whatnot. A lot of man hours went into it. It's not only me that was shooting the video, but actually hired on my editor. What I told my editor was like, dude, make this the best fucking video ever so I can just send it over to uh send anyone who's curious about pharmacy, like be the ultimate guide. So spent a lot of time. It was so crazy. I was surprised that my editor did this, but he literally cut from 50 minutes down to 24, 25 minutes as well. So I'm going to be including timestamps. Really excited to launch that. I also this week finished editing. We finished editing from a business point of view. We started the Weekly Hustle episode 6, which I got to shoot another new episode with it. So that's been killing it. My AdSense has been going crazy, by the way. I'm at 650 this month so far, just with AdSense, not including affiliates and whatnot. And been really killing it with the Daily Hustle, or sorry, not the Daily Hustle. It's the Freestyle Fire Journal as well. And we got some of the OGs in the house. We got Travel and Taste, Curiosity. What up, bro? Welcome back to the stream. Oh shit, hold on. We got Clamaris Jr. What's up, my man? We got the whole crew in the house at the moment, so that's really great. I actually got to open up the stream in another chat just in case any like trolls or anything come by as well. So make sure that they don't spam the channel too. But this week's been really busy for me, man. And it's been a very interesting week for myself. So yes, I've been getting a lot done, but also it's been a week where I kind of took everything off. I didn't take any sales calls this week or anything like that because I pretty much had to be back in Boston to take care of my mom. If you guys don't know, she actually had a recent surgery, and so it's pretty major. I talked about it in my previous episode of the Freestyle Fire Journal. If you want to check that out. But basically, that was what was happening. Why I'm actually in Boston at the moment. So it's been pretty different, right? And in times of like where there's a lot of craziness going on in my life, the number one thing that's been anchoring me is just being able to stay grateful for everything, um, to stay grateful for everything and like just really appreciate the smaller things in life as well, guys. Like we don't have our parents for so long, so it's important to do that. I actually visited my dad earlier today too at the cemetery, so that there was that. Taste Travel and Curiously says UCI Farm School First Class 2021 GG. uh why your head look like cock? Like, I don't know if there's a troll comment, but it's all good, man. Um, but yeah. So hold on, let me just go into there. But yeah, so I'm really excited for this pharmacy video to come out too. Been a long time in the making, and I've been always wanting to do like an update video of like I wouldn't say viral, but a lot of people have seen it, and so I just kind of want to give like an update to that in 2020 because I shot that in 2018, I think, or 2019. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna perform well. So that's why I wanted to go balls to wall on this episode 2 of Don't Do Pharmacy as well. And At the end of the day, it's like never my intention to force people one way or the other. It's really so people can make the best possible decision for their career. And since a lot of people are being fed like this narrative that pharmacy is the best freaking career, for example, I went to the pharmacy, man, 2 times, right? And a lot, like, dude, the pharmacists there look so fucking miserable, man. And it just reminded me of like where I was before and stuff like that too. So it's just really interesting, and I hope people just make the best decisions for their careers going forward as well. So there's that. uh Bob says the unemployed pharmacist job market hasn't been saturated yet. Makes perfect sense to open up a new farm school. That's sarcasm right there. Um, Clamaris says, between Facebook and Google, which one do you use for advertising and why? I personally can't use Facebook advertising because, broski, I got banned. But if you have ideas, that would be awesome. And let me just switch over the comments. Sorry, I have to lean over. I might have to, actually, you know what? I'm going to move this over like this. We'll just do in person, and so I don't have to lean over as much. Move this over here. For some reason, my and by the way, make sure to drop a like if you're just tuning in as well. So make sure to do that. For some reason, my chat is barely even opening up. It's so fucking slow at the moment. So there's that. But to answer your question, Clamaris, it really depends. Typically, like when it comes to high ticket sales, we prefer Facebook ads over Google ads, just because I'm not sure if the targeting is better or something like that. But in terms of the type of people I speak to on the phone, typically what I've noticed is that people who are coming from Facebook are more of in a buying mode or more qualified to buy as well. In Facebook, like, or YouTube, people just aren't. I don't know if it's like the targeting of people or the buyer demographic, but it's a lot more difficult for Google Ads at the moment. But I mean, it's not the end of, like, I'm sure people have made it, but based off my experience, like, Google ads aren't the, like, uh, YouTube ads are not the best as well. But I mean, you can make both of them work at the end of the day. But really, it takes like you'll hear so many times like Facebook ad accounts getting shut down and stuff like that too. So I've never done paid ads myself, but I have a lot of friends who do paid ads who specialize in it. So I should probably let them speak rather than myself, right? So yeah. um Jay Prentice says, "Hi Kevin, any tips for retaining pharmacy info or study tips?" Well, it's been a long time since I've actually been in farm school. Like, it's been about 7 years, so take it with a grain of salt. But something that really helped me a lot was Cal Newport's like study tips. He has study hacks. He had a website on that. There's a few books that I recommended a while ago, which are really solid. But more importantly, I think a lot of time, like at least for myself, how I used to study now because I have to retain a lot of information these days. Versus back then is like I just wasn't focused, dude. I was like, I literally had YouTube on, had music blasting in the background, and was quote unquote studying. But so rarely do we ever just take the time to just focus, right? Like, focusing is really hard. Setting a timer, just hitting key milestones too. I wish I did a better job of planning out how I was going to study, because it would have been really important, because it came to a point where I was just studying old material over and over again, and it really wasn't that helpful as well. So there's that. um Taste and trout. So that's my I guess tips for retaining pharmacy info. And it also helps, and by the way, if you haven't already, make sure to smash that like button. Would love it if you guys could do that. But also, in terms of studying pharmacy in particular, I always found it really helpful if we were learning, if for some reason, if therapeutics and pharmacology like lined up together, like, dude, that would have been so much easier because we're learning similar things. But in pharmacy school, it was never like that. It was like always like mismatched. It's like we're learning about like fucking oncology and we're learning about cardio. It's like totally unrelated, and it's just like, oh my god, this is. I wish schools did a better. Well, at least my school, like MCP, like back in the day. I wish they did a better job at kind of making sure the content was more aligned with the student, having it in the best interest. So that's why I like, there's a lot of micro decisions in schools. There's a lot of politics in schools too, where it's just like sometimes it just makes me question whether they're after your money or not, to be honest with you. So that was my experience. Taste and Travel says OC is pretty dead. I wouldn't be surprised. Although I do see a lot of people like going to the beach in OC and stuff like that. I heard it's pretty interesting there. Uh let's see. Samuel asks, how old are you? I'm actually about 32 years old, by the way, FYI. Uh let's see. Halil says, if you were to go back to your fourth year of pharmacy school now, what would you tell yourself knowing what you know? Depends with what. I mean, there's so many. That's such a nuanced question. Like in terms of relationships, school, career. Like I have no idea. So give me some more specifics, Halil. What do you want to know, my man? We have Clamaris right over here. Facebook has more qualified buyers. Got it. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I love Facebook. I love Facebook traffic. Like, I think it's really solid. And most people like tend to like my. I mean, my one of my clients, they basically do both, right? Actually, I know a few like a lot of people just do both, right? But from my experience, like Facebook ads can be quite more expensive as well, but they're, in my opinion, they convert better. So, uh, hello, Bob says I would drop out, take that 50K US spend tuition, invest in stocks. Will set you up better when you're unemployed and changing careers. Yeah, I mean, pharmacy is rough. I mean, like I probably would not recommend people do pharmacy at this point, but if you're already in the hole, I guess, right? There's not too many options for you. I mean, you could switch healthcare careers, but if your chances are, if you're in your last year of pharmacy and you're already deep in the hole, you might as well try to set yourself up for success. Identify particular, like, okay, so this is the emergency. I covered this in my longer video, but basically, if you are scrambling to figure out what the fuck to do in your life, you're looking for a job, I would identify a particular focus career in pharmacy, start networking with people. So start talking to people, whether through LinkedIn. One strategy I love doing is sending out things like Loom videos and all that as well. Like I think that's a very personal way to introduce yourself. I would tell you to take people out to coffee meetings based off their location of where they're working, but we don't have that luxury right now. So most people know how to use Zoom, so take advantage of it as well, right? Just take the time to really connect, ask for their advice, and actually implement the advice. That's a 10-second advert, right? But I have a few longer videos about more recently about like how to get a pharmacy, how to dive into the pharmacy career as well. So there's that. Um, Halil says, I guess career. I mean, be more specific with Halil. Like, vague questions get vague answers. So tell me exactly what you want to know and what you're struggling with, my man. So help me help you. Uh, let's see. Trevor says, I've been trying to make my first dollar online for a long time now, and I haven't made a dollar, and I've been trying for a long time now. I really want to start, and it seems so hard. I need help. Well, Trevor, it really depends what kind of business model you're trying to go for. I mean, I remember a first time when I was trying to make my first like income online, because this is pretty much how I completely make my income. It's all digitally based and whatnot. And if you're interested in making your first dollar online, I would say the easiest way to do it, the lowest barrier of entry, might be to do something. Well, depends, because even with Amazon affiliate, you need some sort of traffic before they'll approve you, which is the tough part. So you need to figure out like a particular business model first, right? In my opinion, I think affiliate is probably the easiest barrier of entry. You probably don't have the right business model. So, Trevor, if you want to drop in like what sort of business model you've attempted or specialized in and why you went down that route, that give me a lot more context of what's happening at the moment. But in terms of like the easiest way to make money, I would say at least for a first dollar, right? In my opinion, off the top of my head, based off my skill sets, is something like affiliate. and I'm not talking about paid affiliate where you're running traffic to a particular link. Do something very, very organic. So, for example, just do a quick review on like a particular product that you love and rave, and give your own spin to it. You know, I know a lot of people will say like the review market is very saturated, but there's if there's something that we know about digital marketing, it's that there's always these sub niches, these people that you can speak to. For example, there's a lot of people who are talking about, I don't know, cameras for or YouTube, how to get into YouTube, but there's no one really in the market of really teaching pharmacists getting into YouTube as well, specifically for a target market. So if you can identify a product to review, I think that would be a really great way. And if you can get a hold of an affiliate link, I think that's an easy way. You don't have to put any money in. That's an easy way to get $1. That or if you're not good on video, Trevor, offer a service. Like look on Fiverr, look on freaking Upwork, look for something that other people are offering, learn that skill and offer it, right? And if you want to make your first dollar quick, offer at a lower rate and just get that experience. I think a lot of time people are way too quick to jump the gun, and they try to go for the biggest bang for their buck when they're not in the position to do so, or they haven't built up their stripes. You know, I was reading this really great quote that my friend wrote about James Clear. He actually has a really good quote. Let me open it up really quick. Turn off the porn blocker. No, just kidding. But they were talking about. Let's see. Let's make sure my phone turns on. Let me go into my photos and open this up really quick. Where is it? Okay, so James Clear, the guy from Atomic Habits, says, I have a suspicion that most adults, 75% and more, could pick any skill, excluding sports, and work their way to the top 10% in the world by simply working exclusively on it every day for 2 years. But almost nobody displays that degree of focus, so we will never know. So I think that's a very interesting thought, by the way, in terms of I think that's a very interesting thought, because I mean, for myself, that's what I did with sales. I wasn't like good at sales like at first, but I'm decent. I would say would say probably maybe top 10%. Definitely not like top 1% quite yet, but in terms of in a year, I'm pretty proud of how far I've been going as well. Yeah, it looks like we got some dislike bots. So make sure, if you haven't already, make sure to drop a like or dislike if you don't even like this video as well. But let's fight against the dislike bots, guys. Appreciate it, y'all. Um all right. So, Bob asks, from a serious question though, from a personal finance standpoint, how do you think pharmacists should be budgeting slash saving, given that they can get laid off at any time? How should that emergency fund be? Well, ideally, what you'd want to do is to be able to. So this is what I was doing it as a pharmacist, by the way. Um, so I always knew that I always wanted to start a business. So I always wanted more money liquid. And so if that's the goal, to be kind of to have that emergency fund, be more liquid. Obviously, the ideal, you want to be building a alternative career path outside of just community pharmacy, because honestly, the outlook of community pharmacy isn't too hot. And I'll dive into that video later this week as well. So there's that. But if you're talking about liquid cash, what I would do, because I'm not a financial advisor, so I don't want to like get myself into legal trouble. But what I would essentially do would probably be have some cash, like some solid like money in the bank, right? It doesn't have to be a lot, but what I would start doing is invest into things like, it depends how soon you need your money. So for me, I would most pharmacists do not qualify for a Roth IRA, so that's pretty much out of the question. The only time that you really qualify for a Roth IRA as a pharmacist is probably like your first year in between graduation, because you are taking like a huge pay cut. I can't remember the Roth IRA limits and whatnot, but chances are you don't qualify for that. So I would probably match up to the 401k match, and then from that point, you could invest into a taxable account where you could either diversify into bonds or index funds if it's a more long-term plan as well. That's what I did, and I think that that's a more solid plan if you need that money more liquid. But ideally, what you would want, that's from a personal finance point of view, but there's a lot of options. You could either build out a career in a different field, leverage your PharmD into, like my friend David, he actually used that to position himself into a health tech startup, which I thought was very interesting, by the way. So you could do that. You could buy a business. There's a lot of different other things that you can do as well. So you're not limited to that. But you said personal finance. That's what I would do. I was, even at the time, I was just limiting all my expenses. So I didn't even have like, I always knew that from my point of view, I knew jobs were never essentially stable. I knew that careers were never essentially stable. So I would always try to lower my liabilities as much as possible. I mean, for 2+ years when I was living with Joe and all them, I was paying like $600 per month in rent, which is cheap. It's a lot cheaper than being able to get a home or anything like that. And right now my rent is about $600 a month again, right? So it just gives you perspective about like making sure that you're reducing your liabilities as well. So there's that. Clamara says, any idea would will help. I just want to know how to do it myself to prove myself that I can do it. Don't know what you're referring to, Clamaris. Please give me a little bit more context behind that. Tungusa, we got the OG Tungusa. Should pharmacists get into YouTube? I remember last time during a live stream, you said it would be dangerous because corporate can fire you. Example, Dr. Shaw. Um, I would say, like, honestly, for YouTube, because here's the thing: if your management does not like you, they'll terminate you due to misconduct. I mean, that's a huge risk. That's how I was terminated. That's how Dr. Shaw was terminated too, through misconduct, right? And he was buddy buddy with the corporate. It just happened that the new manager or new supervisor didn't like him, and that's how he got terminated. Now, if you want to do a YouTube channel, there's a few ways that you can do it. You can probably keep yourself anonymous if you want. That's one way. But I would say, as long as it's probably not pharmacy related, you might be okay, right? Like, as long if it's not pharmacy related, I don't see why a how a corporate company could kind of terminate you as well in terms of that, because it's not related. And as long as you're not, there's no, I mean, for myself, like what they could, like if I were to play devil's advocate for me or Dr. Shaw, it's like, okay, you're talking about the profession, so you are essentially, your point of view kind of represents the company, which I don't fucking agree with. I think that's a stupid ass fucking argument, but that's what they would argue, right? um and it's like, but if you want to do YouTube and you want to talk something else at pharmacy, I'm pretty sure it would be okay as well. Tungusa says, you got my like. Thank you, Tungusa. Yeah, like, dude, I always have like random, especially the dislike bots have been coming back recently, but it's okay. At the end of the day, just want to make sure that I'm just adding tons of value to you guys as well. I mean, it's kind of funny. I think over the last few months since I got hit with the dislikes, um, I've really just been putting myself in a serving mode where I just want to help tons of people who drop in my stream and stuff. So that's always great. Damn, man, it's fucking hot in here, man. Oh, Clamara says, right now I want to get certified in Facebook ads and or Google ads, so I can either sell the service or to do well in ads for myself. But I don't know if I want to spend that much time. Yeah, I would say it's up to you. Really, before you get certified for anything, like, what's the end goal? What do you want to do, Clamaris? I have a few friends that do it, that specialize in paid media as well. And they're really good. Maybe I'll get a few of them on my channel to talk about it if there's enough interest about how to get started in paid media. Actually, it's interesting. One of my former clients, he was actually a podiatrist and stuff. He's a really good friend of mine. He still pays me on commission for a few different clients as well, but it's really great as well. So yeah, if you want me to bring them on, please let me know. Bob says next year's residency process will be a crapshoot given that ASHP mid-year is 100% virtual now. Imagine having shit, I can't read it. Imagine having excellent resumes and soft skills, but getting beat by keyboard warriors, huh? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with mid-year. Brian actually, I think Brian has a video on ASHP this year because it's all virtual. So it's an interesting thing. We're gonna see what happens, but that's why camera presence is so important, and doing things like YouTube is important too, because if you're good on camera and you're good with video, then it's a game changer. But a lot of people aren't very comfortable on video. And maybe this is kind of level of playing field, right? Because that's my primary advantage. I've had like, what? If we count every single video that I have on my channel, I have 800 plus reps. Plus more. I shot even more videos back, like for pitching people, looking for clients and stuff like that. But I have essentially a lot of experience, right? And like I think it's the next best soft skill to do, especially being present on camera as well. If you file your taxes as a single person, your modified adjusted gross income must be under 137,000 for tax year 2019 and under 139K for the tax year 2020 contribute. So actually people might or might not actually qualify for something like a Roth IRA. Might be interesting. Depending what state, if you're making like 120K, yeah, you probably qualify for a Roth IRA. So with that being said, I think I put on Kick-Ass Investing. There's a YouTube channel about Roth IRAs, but you can take the principal out as well at any time. From what I remember, I gotta double check that. I believe I contacted Vanguard about that as well, but I never plan on doing that, by the way. But it is an option as well. Somebody's asking where's Jennifer. I can't think of who Jennifer is. What is your reaction to Joe Rogan leaving for Cali? She said Rohan. Rogan leaving for Cali for my home state, Texas, says Rohan. Oh, and you corrected yourself, my man. I really like. Well, you know what? I think Joe Rogan. I follow Joe Rogan a lot, and he's making a stand, and I really agree with it. Honestly, California, if it wasn't for jujitsu and all my friends and so many great people, like that's the thing I miss about California is like all the great people, the freedom of California, what California represents. But you can get that other places too. I mean, with us going more digital these days and us being in lockdown, there's not a really great reason being California. I mean, there's high taxes until there's major tax reform in California. Like I think we'll see a lot more people moving out of California. I'm not sure if you guys know, but a lot of Californians, they move to places like Denver actually, and locations like that. By the way, so it's interesting stuff. And by the way, make sure to smash that like button, y'all. But I think it'll be the start, and honestly, traffic is a pain in the ass, but that's the one good thing about I guess Corona. I guess like I don't know if there's a positive side to all of this coronavirus, it's that there's not a lot of traffic. It's kind of forced people to go outside. Although the weather in California is beautiful, but Texas is pretty dope too. I have a lot of good friends who live in Texas as well. I forgot where is Joe Rogan moving, like in Texas. Let me just look it up for a second. Joe Rogan, Texas. By the way, I was watching Joe Rogan's episode with David Cho, and that was a very interesting thing. Oh, he's moving to Houston, I think. Is that right? Can someone confirm? Or Austin, Texas, sorry. It says Austin, Texas. And then Joey Diaz is moving to Jersey as well, so it's interesting. If they were on here, that would be dope. I had asked earlier in the chat if you're going to make cash in the next 2 days or 2 weeks without a paycheck, what would you do? For me, it's very different because all I gotta do is post up a video and I can start making cash relatively easy. It's not that hard for me at this point. Now, if I was a complete beginner, lost my platform, lost everything, what I would probably do is just find another client. So either do sales, do some digital marketing consultant, do some sort of affiliate type of thing. Those are specialties I'm good at because I'm really good with people. I love talking to people. I love helping people. People refer me to, like, I might not even be a specialist, but they always know I can find the right people for certain things. And you can make money as like something like a headhunter or connect being a connector as well. There are business models like that. So that's what I would do. But that's a good question. I think services are a really great place to start if you're starting from nothing. If you have nothing, like no cash as well. So there's that. Um, Tangusa says, I think it's important to be comfortable in front of a camera, which is why I want to get into YouTube, but I'm struggling on what to make it about. Lol. Well, Tangusa, if you want to email and whatnot, more than happy to help you through that process. But I would say, well, first of all, who are the great channels that you love watching? Like, who are people that are really successful? What niches? What kind of videos are they doing? And just model after their channel. I would say, like, guys, like, if you want to model off a channel, don't model off this one. This is a personal branding channel, so I mean, it's everything about me. It's not really a pharmacy channel, but I just talk about real shit that is going on in my life, and pharmacy is like one of those things, right? Especially more recently, dealing with medications and all that. But you know, my investing channel is actually growing quite a bit, even though I haven't been posting up things like that. So if you focus on a niche, you're gonna grow, right? And I think that's really, really important as well. So start writing those things down. Might always make sense to. So I think that's a good place to just get started as well, right? Um, Trevor says, I want to do drop shipping, but don't have the money to start. Um, I am in Jamaica. It's really, really hard here. Well, that's because you're jumping into the big boys, man. I know a lot of people are really attracted to drop shipping, but the number one thing is you got to get cash if you want to do e-commerce, right? I know drop shipping is a different business model, but I mean, you still need cash to pay for your subscriptions if you're doing Shopify or something like that, right? Like, honestly, get your cash if you want to do e-commerce. Otherwise, start a service-based business. I think it's pretty simple. So learn something like specific in digital marketing. Is it copywriting? Is it paid advertisement? Like, what are you good at, or what services you can do? If you're not good at any of them, guess what? There's a lot of free tutorials on how to edit on YouTube, right? That you can help people at a low cost, get your feet wet, and just keep on learning. Learn while you earn, guys. So I think that's an important thing that people don't really think about a lot of time as well. All right. Let's take a few more questions. Gulam says, "Man, so freaking stressed about the trajectory. Uh, uh, career post graduation. I have 2 years left in pharmacy. Was thinking industry or ambulatory care. How to branch and reach my goals." That's a very major question, Gulam, and I definitely feel you. I was actually going through something as well, Gulam, like yourself. I was actually stressing out. I was having a midlife crisis. I was 25 years old at the time. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and so I started reaching out to different people, talking to different careers that were a potential for myself, or that were interesting, and just asked people about what the careers were like. Now, I was going to become a public health officer, but somewhere along the way, I met some YouTubers that changed my mind about that. But what I would recommend is doing the same thing, is just like really reach out to these people who have interesting careers that are a little bit different, get hyper specific, and start building those connections and ask them for their recommendations, how to get started as well, right? And they would give you the best advice as well, Gulam. So don't despair. Um, Talk to everyone you know in pharmacy school at the moment. Yeah, the benefit of being in close proximity from a lot of people. Go to your advisor and ask them, hey, is there anyone that you know that has a very like non-traditional pharmacy career, and if so, can you connect me to them? I promise to respect their time, but I just love to talk to them, right? Do that with your professors, your advisors, anyone that you come in contact with too, even your friends, right? Or your preceptors, or as you're in different places, they're there to help you, man. And use the advantage of being in pharmacy school because people want to help you out. So I think there's that. Tangusa says, if you have no money, now is not the best time to start a business. Get a paying job to help you fund that business slash drop shipping. Yep, exactly. Yeah, don't jump into e-commerce, guys, if you don't have money. It's simple as that. Like, I think people want to play an arbitrage game, but a lot of time, like, yes, I know drop shipping is a easier barrier of entry in terms of drop shipping, but guess what? You don't have to. A lot of people, drop shippers, don't have fucking traffic. So guess what? They have to pay for their traffic, most likely, right? So you're gonna need money one way or the other, right? And there's no shortcutting it unless you're an influencer. Might be easier to drive traffic that way organically, but dude, is you need to have some sort of working capital. It's like I want to buy a house. Yes, there are, like, let's say if I want to buy a house, there are so many ways to buy a house without like any working capital, but it's just a uphill road. Just dude, just set yourself up for success. I mean, it's a hard business model to begin with. Like, just set yourself up for success. uh let's see. Orange Star says, hi, I hope you're doing good. Can you get hired in hospital without doing residency as a pharmacy technician? Pharmacist, wait, what? Can you get hired in a hospital without doing residency as a pharmacist? I've answered that in one of my other videos, so please refer to that, by the way. Or not, Orange Star. I really break down the steps of how my friend transitioned into a hospital pharmacy career without doing a residency. So there's that. Let's see. We have Bob saying drop out now, go PA school, do ambulatory care. Ambulatory care. I mean, PA is really solid at the moment, but there's nothing to say that PA won't be like pharmacy in the future. Who knows? But at the current moment, it's a pretty solid career, and most people are very happy, right? Uh, Nor says, "Hi Kevin, do you have tips for networking in pharmacy school?" Uh, I mean, honestly, just not being a dick. Like, let's be honest, no one wants to meet fucking douchebag. Um, but I would say like it requires a bit of. I would say the most part, like where people struggle in terms of networking, because it comes very natural to me. I'm very curious about people, right? So you need that. First of all, you need that curiosity, but it's not only being curious about people. You really need to network in general. You need to block out time and make it intentional of reaching out to people, talking to people about their careers, seeing how they're doing, right? I think that is very underutilized, and people make the mistake of saying, oh, I have an exam, I need to study for it. Yes, you need to study for it, but you also need to network with people and allocate the time, because networks are your net worth, or whatever that fucking corny ass saying, but it's true, right? Like, it's important, and sometimes they'll help you in multiple ways more than just your pharmacy career. I mean, sometimes you meet some kick-ass friends that might change the trajectory of your life, and that's happened a lot of time as well, a lot as well. um what kind of business can you start, do with a PhD in pharmacy? Well, my argument, OrangeStar, is like, why do you even need a PhD to start a business? Period. I mean, there's so many people who haven't started a business without a PhD, and it's just like, dude, they're mutually exclusive. You can have a PhD and start a business. You cannot have a PhD and start a business. It doesn't make it. I mean, having a degree, no one fucking cares about your degree, dude. At the end of the day, especially if you're going product or service based, right? No one's going to care. They want to receive a kick-ass product. They want to receive a kick-ass service somehow, right? So there's that. Um, let's see. Uh, Lemon Doug says, "Yo, Kevin, like the glasses." Yo, Lemon Doug, drop a like, my man. We're struggling for likes this stream, but it's all good. But thank you for liking my glasses. These are actually blue blocking glasses, because it's getting late here, so I just want to make sure I'm able to sleep as well. Um, Bob brings up a good point. A lot of experienced hospital pharmacists with no residency get passed up for fresh PGY1 and PGY2 grads. Easy way to join. Tungusa has a very good insight on things. Easy way to join is clubs, ASHP, FSHP. Talk to your classmates and other classmates from other years. Get in touch with professors. We had a pharmacy mentor program at my school, and join a pharmacy mentor. Like, if you ever get to be a student mentor, like that's important. You should volunteer, and that's an easy way to just help people, I think, at the end of the day. And by the way, ASHP and all those places have really, like, at my body, like, they had great pizza, free pizza. Don't, like, it's a great way to gain weight, by the way, but they had free pizza. But it's a really great way to shoot the shit. And plus, like in pharmacy school too, the best relationships that you can make um are the ones that you can just shoot the shit with, right? It doesn't, not everything has to be so formal too. Like, your best relationships are on a more personal level, right? And I mean, for example, Brian, he's very, like, my friend Brian Fung, he's very high credentials, right? But we know each other on a very personal level. I mean, I could literally talk to him about any relationship advice I need, or like just life shit in general. He's the man. I mean, we just chop it up. And if I ever need anything, pretty sure, I would hope, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, but Brian would probably help me out, if I need it as well. So there's that. Lemon Doug says, have uh, Alex Becker is hiring for a closer at Hyros. Have you checked it out? No, I haven't, but it's funny. One of my friends is actually interested in Hyros as well as an offer, but maybe I'll check it out. I don't know. I'll see what it's about. It's kind of my style, because I do very consultative type of closing style, but it's interesting. Um, Orange Star says, at Bob, thanks for your time. Thank these people out. Um, there's no such thing as a PhD in pharmacy. That's why it's not a respected degree. It's a clinical degree, which has very low application, so pretty much a useless degree. Okay, thank you. Uh, says Nor. Somebody's talking about Dan Locke's rented house. I think I mentioned this last week, by the way, or like on one of the things. Apparently, Dan Locke is getting sued because he basically broke his lease without talking to people. So it's interesting shit, but it's pretty interesting, man. Like how Dan Locke's like legacy like went up into flames and shit. I met a lot of great people in the program. Like, I met lawyers, I met like consultants, I met some of my best friends through the program. So that's why it always kind of is like, there's always that bit of me that's just like, man, it is what you make of it. But it's just like pharmacy school. Like, pharmacy school wasn't exactly worth it for me, but for relationships, absolutely. I met some of my best friends through there, like the sweetest people in my life. I mean, you wonder how I met people like Angela and Wendy and stuff, like, or all those people like you see in my old vlogs. It's through pharmacy school. Those were the best relationships I ever had in my life. So I always love it. Any thoughts on finasteride? Well, clearly I'm not using finasteride at all, but I take a very non. I'm a very like non. I don't like taking pharmaceuticals for my problems. Typically, right? I could take finasteride and stuff, but no thoughts really. Um, I've had a few patients that have like some sort of ED on finasteride as well. So, but I don't know. Doesn't, I mean, honestly, I have never considered it as well. So there's that. Let's see. How many more minutes do I have? It's 43. Great. And it's about 10, 11. I'll stay on for a few more minutes, but what I want to do is get some sleep. I need to wake up early tomorrow, hit the gym, and start the week strong, because I got some closing calls and all that sort of stuff. And I got to take care of my mom early in the morning. Literally every single day I've been heating up her meals, and it's been actually a really blessing, right, to kind of reverse roles in life, right? But it's been sometimes difficult, right? But if there's one thing I've kind of been feeling this week, is just like overall gratitude in terms of being in pharmacy, learning, like knowing that I have some sort of clinical knowledge. I can speak intelligently to practitioners and stuff about what needs to be done and all that as well. So there was a little bit about that as well. So AZ's in the house. AZ says, scary thing about Finn is it can kill your testosterone permanently. Sex drive low forever. Check it out. What Tim Ferriss said it. Yeah. So I did have a few patients on finasteride, and they actually suffered from the low libido as well. Lemon Doug says, have a good week. Pretty. Thank you, Lemon Doug. AZ, if you haven't already, make sure to smash that subscribe button or smash the like button. By the way, we appreciate it, bro. It's a rare but well-known side effect. Yeah, it's a pretty. I mean, not everyone would have that side effect back when I was practicing, but it's common enough where sometimes people will just discontinue off of it altogether as well, right? Uh, Thank you for your time, Kevin. I'll hit you up about the YouTube ideas. All right, that's cool. Tungusa, slide into my DMs or shoot an email toward me as well. Gulam says, "Appreciate you, man. You really been out. You really have been out here grinding. I remember watching your videos prior to accepting offer to pharmacy school." Gulam, yeah, appreciate it, man. Appreciate that you recognize the grind. I'm pretty sure that you know it's been a pretty journey being in pharmacy school and with the future of pharmacy being the way it is as well. Gulam says, currently at the top of my class and recently got published in ASHP. Wait, hold on. Fuck, I can't see this shit. Hold on. In ASHP 2 this past summer. Well, congratulations, Gulam, man. Feel free to shoot in my DMs, man. I would love to hear all about it, my brother. So hope you're doing well. And if there's anything I can do for you, Gulam, just let me know, my man. Uh, then we got Bob, the pharmacy, the guy who hates on pharmacy, which, I agree. Like, I agree with some of the points that Bob has a lot of time too. So just funny. Uh, let's see. Can you get the side effect? Um, I'm not sure, honestly. I probably would. I mean, because I think if you were to take tests, it would probably increase like the balding, based off my opinion as well. Never really seen people. I'm trying to think if I've seen someone on testosterone and finasteride. It kind of like, it kind of reduces the. I don't think it would be effect. Like, I think obviously the increased testosterone would probably increase the balding if anything as well, right? Uh, Nor asks, how will you deal with pharmacy failure in pharmacy school? If you did, the program can get intense sometimes. I did kind of suffer through that at some points. I was on academic warning. I was never on probation, but I was on academic warning, and you just take it day by day. You just really gotta reprioritize things. Like, I'll tell you this: I'm not the smartest person in the world academically, right? But I think in terms of strategy, like higher level thinking, I've always been not up there, but like I've always thought very differently from people as well. So what I would recommend is, I mean, take a really good look, honest look at yourself. Are you studying like you should be? And there's a few things that you could focus on. It's like, well, one, am I optimizing the time that I'm spending on studying? Is it really focused on studying? So that's the easiest thing, right? Turn off all distractions, turn off your phone, shut up everything fucking off, and just focus, right? And studying. Now, the second thing that you can do is like really optimize your studying patterns. So, first of all, are you going to class? Are you being strategic? More so like listening to what the professor is like highlighting, right? And these are just general study tips, right? Because it's a game, and as stupid as the academic system is, honestly, like, I don't agree with this, but as stupid as the academic system is, they make you memorize shit, and typically the professor is the one writing the exam, so he or she is going to highlight the major points that they want you to learn. But you have to, it does take some time to adjust to a particular professor as well, in terms of like how they write their tests, because there's some professors that will fucking talk out of their ass all day about this one subject and it's not even on the exam, so it's completely fucking useless. So you guys see the strategy of how they structure their questions as well, right? So there's that. And that's pretty much it. Are there any more questions? Nope. I think that's pretty much it. If you haven't already, make sure to drop a like before we sign off. But if not, hope you guys have a kick-ass week, y'all. I'm going to do my best to have a kick-ass week. You're going to see some fire content this week as well. And that's pretty much it. All right. I will talk to you guys later. Take care. Peace, my people. Bye.